you want to put your opinions into writing? Welcome to my channel and welcome to my class. Today, we are to discuss Lesson 2, Argumentation from Pivot for a Learner's Material, Quarter 2, English, Grade 10. I know that you are all excited to learn new things today, and I am your subject teacher, Dr. Jan-Ann-Rey V. Consignado. I hope you have your notebook, paper, pen, and of course, our Pivot for a Learner's Material, Quarter 2, English, Grade 10. What are our objectives? At the end of the lesson, you are expected to learn how to put your opinions into writing. Number 2, be involved in identifying the key elements and language features of argumentative text. And number 3, analyze given samples and write your own argumentative essay based on the given guideposts. Argumentation. First, let us consult the dictionary. What is the meaning of argumentation? According to Merriam-Webster, argumentation is the act or process of forming reasons and of drawing conclusions and applying them to a case in discussion. Another meaning is debate, and another one, discussion. That is argumentation. It is normal for any person to have an opinion or a stand on issues happening around him or her. These issues may vary from usual concerns within groups or a community to matters that may largely affect a country or society. Again, it is normal for any person to have an opinion or a stand on issues happening around him or her. These issues may vary from usual concerns within groups or a community to matters that may largely affect a country or society. Behind someone's opinion or stand on issues that affect him or her are reasons or explanations for whichever side he or she takes. There are times when a person is compelled to provide these explanations to support his or her claims or ideas. In this lesson, you will learn how to put your opinions into writing. This part of the module focuses on deeply understanding the concept of argumentation. As part of your learning tasks, you will be involved in identifying the key elements and language features of argumentative text. You are also expected to analyze given samples and write your own argumentative essay based on given guideposts. COVID-19 pandemic is one of the most pressing issues in the country today. What is your opinion on the government's move to implement community quarantine measures in controlling the spread of COVID-19 infections in most cities and municipalities in the country? Share your opinions about this topic by completing the table provided. So this is very timely. It's about COVID-19 pandemic. What is your opinion on the government's move to implement community quarantine measures? All right? So here's your template. We have the pros and the cons. And our topic is the implementation of community quarantine measures in controlling the spread of COVID-19 infections. Okay? So the first column has to do with the pros, and the last, the cons. Mom, what is the meaning of the first word, pros? How about the second word? Cons. Okay, first, let us discuss the meaning of pros and cons. Pros and cons. Arguments or considerations for and against something. Pros and cons. Another meaning is this idiom is taken from the Latin pro for and con for against. Okay? So when we say pro, it means for. When we say con, it means against. Okay? Once again, the first column has to do with pros, then the last one, the cons. What's your opinion about the implementation of community quarantine measures in controlling the spread of COVID-19 infections? Our topic is very timely. Learning task 1. Read the statements carefully. In your notebook, write agree if the statement expresses truth about argumentative texts and disagree if it says otherwise. You are to write agree or disagree. Number 1. The main goal of an argumentative text is to tell a story. Again, the main goal of an argumentative text is to tell a story. Agree or disagree. Number 2. An argumentative text persuades readers to believe a certain claim or opinion. I'll repeat number 2. An argumentative text persuades readers to believe a certain claim or opinion. Agree or disagree. Number 3. When writing an argumentative text, such as an essay, it is important to include evidences that support your claim. Again, number 3. When writing an argumentative text, such as an essay, it is important to include evidences that support your claim. Number 4. Argumentative texts basically present and describe a topic. I'll repeat number 4. Argumentative texts basically present and describe a topic. Number 5. Understanding the pros and cons of an issue is an essential aspect of argumentative writing. I'll repeat number 5. Understanding the pros and cons of an issue is an essential aspect of argumentative writing. Number 6. One's choice of words matters in clearly expressing his or her arguments about an issue. I'll repeat number 6. One's choice of words matters in clearly expressing his or her arguments about an issue. Number 7. An argumentative essay presents a writer's stand or rationale regarding a certain issue. I'll repeat number 7. An argumentative essay presents a writer's stand or rationale regarding a certain issue. Number 8. The pattern of idea development in an argumentative text is the same for every author. I'll repeat number 8. The pattern of idea development in an argumentative text is the same for every author. Number 9. Research plays a big role in ensuring the worth and validity of one's claims and ideas in an argumentative essay. Number 9 again. Research plays a big role in ensuring the worth and validity of one's claims and ideas in an argumentative essay. Number 10. Argumentative writing usually shows a more subjective style of writing as the writer explains his or her views about the topic. I'll repeat number 10. Argumentative writing usually shows a more subjective style of writing as the writer explains his or her views about the topic. Learning task 2. Get a copy of an editorial written in English from old newspapers. Examples: broadsheets, school publications. Cut and paste it in your notebook. If you have a way to connect to the internet, you may use an online editorial for this task. Read and examine it. Then, in your notebook, answer the questions below. Number 1. What is the main idea portrayed by the editorial you have just read? I'll repeat number 1. What is the main idea portrayed by the editorial you have just read? Number 2. Are there evidences that support the main idea? Cite at least 3 examples. I'll repeat number 2. Are there evidences that support the main idea? Cite at least 3 examples. Number 3. How would you describe the way the editorial board proved its point? I'll repeat number 3. How would you describe the way the editorial board proved its point? Number 4. What can you say about the use of language and the words used in the given reading material? I'll repeat number 4. What can you say about the use of language and the words used in the given reading material? Number 5. Were you prompted to believe the claims based on the ideas presented in the material? Why or why not? I'll repeat number 5. Were you prompted to believe the claims based on the ideas presented in the material? Why or why not? While expressing opinions or claims about an issue seems to be an easy thing to do, writing effective argumentative texts, such as an argumentative essay, is actually not. It requires a clear understanding of what argumentative writing is. Knowing structural patterns of argumentative texts, employing techniques in researching and supporting a claim, as well as using language features appropriate for argumentation. So we have lots of considerations. Argumentative writing is sometimes called persuasive writing. Once again, argumentative writing is sometimes called what? Very good. It's persuasive writing. Why? Because it seeks to convince readers to support a stand on a certain issue. It also requires the writer to examine a topic or issue which involves the collection, generation, and evaluation of exhibits and or evidences. It further emphasizes the writer's agreement or disagreement on particular proposition. Proposition. What is the meaning of proposition? Proposition is very essential in argumentative writing. It serves as the point of reference of the argumentative writer. That is proposition. It is where the writer decides whether to express his or her agreement or disagreement. So don't forget the meaning of proposition. Okay? That is the point of reference of the argumentative writer. In doing so, it is necessary that he or she gathers information and or evidences that would support his or her stand. Okay? Once again, he or she gathers information and or evidences. One of the most common forms of argumentative writing is an argumentative essay. An argumentative essay is an essay that presents a stand or a rationale on a given proposition or issue. In this essay, the main argument presented is elaborated and explained through the presentation of its pros and cons. The main objective of an argumentative essay is to convince or persuade the reader into considering your stand or argument on an issue. Key structural elements of argumentative writing. The basic components of an argument include claim, reasons behind this claim, and evidences to support this specific claim. Don't forget these three basic components of an argument. Okay? Claim, reasons behind this claim, and evidences to support this specific claim. The pattern of idea development in argumentative writing may vary from one writer to another. The structure of developing an argumentative essay largely depends on how a writer intends to present his or her main argument and how he or she wishes to develop the main idea presented by backing it up with supporting details or evidences. As an essay is usually made up of an introduction, body, and a conclusion, argumentative essays may use a pattern or structure that conforms to how a writer intends to present and further establish a point. The table below presents various patterns of how ideas or arguments in an argumentative essay may be presented and developed. We have here three patterns. We have pattern A, B, and C. Pattern A, we have the thesis statement, first pro, second pro, con or cons, plus the refutation or refutations, and the conclusion. Next, pattern B, we have thesis statement, con or cons, plus refutation or refutations. Then, first pro, second pro, and conclusion. And the last pattern we have here, thesis statement, first con plus refutation. Next, second con plus refutation. Next, third con plus refutation. And the conclusion. Okay? So let us discuss these three patterns. In pattern A, the thesis statement about the issue is presented in the topic sentence. It is followed by the first set of pros, supporting ideas, relative to the thesis statement. Then, the second set of pros, supporting ideas, is also presented to further support the strength and strengthen the claim regarding the thesis statement. It is followed by the presentation of the cons, counter arguments, and refutations. Lastly, a conclusion that summarizes the ideas presented in the essay and highlights the benefits of the thesis statement is presented to the readers. So I will show you again the pattern. Okay? Thesis statement, first pro, second pro, con or cons, plus refutation or refutations, and the conclusion. That's pattern A. How about pattern B? Pattern B, meanwhile, is almost similar to the first one. The only difference is that it presents the cons, opposing ideas, and refutations first before building up the thesis statement using the pros or the supporting ideas. Okay? That's pattern B. I will show you again the pattern. Thesis statement, con or cons, refutation or refutations, then the first pro, second pro, and the conclusion. Okay? How about pattern C? Finally, pattern C presents the simplest flow of arguments, starting with the presentation of the thesis statement. Then, the three sets of cons opposing ideas of the issue, together with their corresponding refutations, are provided. Not a single pro supporting idea. Not a single pro is given in this pattern. This means that the conclusion needs to focus on justifying the refutations to fully support the claim. That is pattern C. Let me show you again the pattern. Thesis statement, first con plus refutation, second con plus refutation, third con plus refutation, and the conclusion. Okay? So we have three patterns. Now, language features of an argumentative text. Like in other forms of writing, the use of language, particularly the choice of words to be used, is an essential consideration in writing an argumentation. Since this writing focuses on proving the worth of an argument or idea, there is a need to choose words that will contribute to the main purpose of writing. For example, the use of grammatical structures like modals and adverbs, among others, may greatly contribute to achieving a compelling argumentative essay. The table below presents several language features of an argumentative text. Modals. If you still remember our topic last time, we also tackled modals. Okay? So the modal verbs. The use of modal verbs like should and must to express suggestion and obligation, respectively, contributes to the achievement of sentences that provide support to the main argument. Letter A. The public should consider wearing face shields as additional protection against COVID-19 infection. So we have the modal verb should. Letter B. Every Filipino must conserve water, energy, and other natural resources. So, the modal verb is must. Okay? Don't forget the meaning of these modal verbs. Okay? The use of adverbs, like the ones listed below, also contributes to the attainment of the author's purpose for writing. These linguistic particles help indicate the mood or attitude of the writer with respect to the ideas being presented. We have usually, probably, necessarily, actually, apparently, certainly, definitely, essentially, in fact, possibly, inarguably. So these are adverbs. How about evaluative language? The use of evaluative language, usually in the form of adjectives, reflects the writer's attitude towards a certain idea. These words express feelings, opinions, or judgments on what they are describing. Evaluative words, including the ones listed below, can have positive or negative effect on an idea. Okay? So what are the given examples here? Appalling, awful, disgusting, dreadful, horrendous, incredible, revolting, ridiculous, shocking, terrible, and wonderful. Evaluative language. How about transitions? The use of appropriate transitional devices plays a great part in maintaining the smooth flow of ideas in an argumentative text. Depending on the need to bridge one idea to the others, these words, also known as connectives, help achieve coherence in writing. Through these words, the danger of the essay sounding like a group of disjointed opinions can be avoided. So, what are the examples? We have because, therefore, on the other hand, as a result, in summary, consequently, similarly, in contrast, meanwhile, furthermore. These are transitions. These are transitional devices. Aside from those mentioned above, the use of these linguistic elements, such as declarative statements, rhetorical questions, and passive construction, may also help in writing compelling argumentative texts. Okay? Learning task 3. Take some time to learn about things that are currently happening around you. Watch news programs, listen to the radio, or read a newspaper. After doing at least one of these suggested activities, list down 10 events or issues which may serve as good topics for writing an argumentative essay. Write your answers in your notebook. That's your learning task 3. And learning task 4. This time, you'll be prompted to draft an argumentative essay for a given topic. Provide the key elements using the template given. Do this in your notebook. That is your learning task 4. So, our topic: conduct of limited face to face classes in the time of pandemic. What is your main argument? How about your pros? How about your cons? Refutations and conclusion. Okay? That is your template. Learning task 5. Look for a good sample of an argumentative text in English tabloids or broadsheets published here in the Philippines. Cut the said sample out and paste it in your notebook. Examine the text, then answer the questions that follow. Note, if you have a way to connect to the internet, you may also use news websites as the source of your text sample. Number 1, what is the main argument presented in the sample you have chosen? How was it presented? Again, what is the main argument presented in the sample you have chosen? How was it presented? Number 2, what cons and pros were presented? Enumerate. Again, what cons and pros were presented? Enumerate. Number 3, how did the writer conclude the text? Again, how did the writer conclude the text? Number 4, what can you say about the use of language features like modals, evaluative words, and transitional devices in the text? How did these elements contribute to the achievement of the writer's purpose? I'll repeat number 4. What can you say about the use of language features like modals, evaluative words, and transitional devices in the text? How did these elements contribute to the achievement of the writer's purpose? Learning task 6. Imagine that you are a writer for a leading newspaper company in the Philippines. Wow. You are asked to write an argumentative text about one of the topics listed below. Your output should not be less than 500 words and should reflect key structural elements and language features of an argumentation. Do this in your notebook. First topic, revival of GMRC and values education subjects in basic education. Number two, establishment of the Department of Overseas Filipino Workers. Number three, implementation of 24-hour curfew for minors in the time of pandemic. So these are the topics. Using the graphic organizer provided below, show the different key structural elements and language features in an argumentative text. You may provide additional rectangles. Do this in your notebook. Okay? The argumentative text. That's your template. Tip: researching substantial information and background about issues you will write about is a must in order to have sufficient knowledge on how to present your argument and support your claims. References: Pivot 4A Learner's Material Quarter 2 English Grade 10. What else? We consulted Merriam-Webster and the website. Do you have questions? Please use the comment section. It is my pleasure to entertain your questions. Go ahead. Thank you. Do you understand our lesson? Kindly like the button. Thank you. Good job. Handang isip, handa bukas. Sama-sama sa pagsulong ng edukalidad. I am Miss Jan-Ann-Rey Consignado, your subject teacher. And please subscribe to my channel because next week I will be uploading again our topic. Thank you. Stay safe, healthy, and happy. Bye-bye.